I ain't gonna die waiting on salvation. As long as we still got guns, we gonna fight.
Woo! Left 4 Dead 2!
And if we run out of bullets, baby, they gonna wish we had.
Dude, you get to use a chainsaw.
And it's coming out this year?
Oh, come on. They just released the first one 7 months ago. How does that justify complaining over a sequel? It is ludicrous. We paid $50 for a game still in beta.
I'll show you beta, you little
Valve has a distinct policy of releasing games few and far between.
And your point is?
My point is that sometimes the Valve logo is in a dude's eyes, and sometimes it's on the back of a dude's head. What does that have to do with anything? Besides, your heads are round, my head is square, and...
You suck. Rad Ryan here to puke all over the naive for your viewing pleasure.
Rad Ryan and I thought this year's E3 went quite well, except for a few atrocities which will be featured in our next rant. But for some of the cool stuff, Project NATO seemed neat, the Old Republic trailer was awesome, and who knows what Team Ninja is going to do with the Metroid franchise. Among these awesome announcements, there was Left 4 Dead 2.
I was very excited to see that a sequel was in the works, and even more excited when I heard that it was coming out this year. E3 had a tendency to say coming in 2010 too much this year. But I was shocked though when I found out that a large amount of the Left 4 Dead community hated the fact that another sequel was in the works, and went as far as to start a boycott that at the time of this recording has almost 30,000 members.
This isn't on the same line as, say, Sony completely altering a game like Star Wars Galaxy. This is just Valve putting out another episode in their ongoing franchise.
To anyone who can hear this, proceed to Mercy Hospital for evacuation.
The first Left 4 Dead will still be around and have an ongoing community, just like how Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare still had a pretty solid one when Call of Duty World at War came out.
I find it really funny that the fans of Left 4 Dead feel betrayed, like Valve owes them more content than what was previously on the disc. It's also funny that they feel so upset about it that they feel they need to present their Steam group like it's a legal document. We have assembled a manifesto outlining the basic consensus of the many members of our community. Who are we kidding, guys? You guys are just a bunch of cheap Nelsons who think $50 is too much for a new video game.
The guys at Valve don't owe you people jack. When you buy a game, you're purchasing the content on the disc. We all love Team Fortress 2, but do you expect Valve to do that for every game they release?
Did you just forget that they released an update? A free one? They could have easily charged $5 for it, but they didn't. And plus, even with the relative little content that came with the game, there wasn't a better value for my dollar than Left 4 Dead. I played both the Versus and online campaign for countless hours, gotten every achievement, and had a blast doing it all. I cannot think of a game that I've spent more hours on the past year than Left 4 Dead. And speaking of dollars...
Oh no.
It's time for another...
Here we go again.
Ryan's Economic Moment!
Crap. Feel free to go watch something of interest. Like this puppy. That cute puppy.
We all know that many video game companies are doing poorly in the financial department. 3D Realms is gone, THQ is not looking like it's going to last much longer, and even Midway, who's been around since 1988, has filed bankruptcy. It's really easy to say that it's merely greed that is causing gaming companies to charge for updates, or releasing sequels 1 year after the previous ones, but the truth is, we just don't know how well Valve is doing financially. How do we know they're not in trouble financially right now? What if they decide to focus on a true sequel in order to keep the company afloat? The truth is, we just don't know. But answer this. Would you boycotters buy a copy of Left 4 Dead 2 if you knew the company depended on it? Because I believe they do depend on it. And I will be supporting a great company like Valve by paying $60 for a great sequel with lots of new content.
I would much rather have a full-blown sequel than have little updates that get released every 4 to 6 months. Look at Half-Life 2! It got released in 2004 and they still haven't finished it. And if you're worried about Valve not continuing their support for Left 4 Dead, get over it! I mean, they've already gotten over your constant whining with this announcement. And I quote, "Some in the community are concerned that the announcement of Left 4 Dead 2 implied a change in our plans for Left 4 Dead 1. We aren't changing our plans for Left 4 Dead 1. In addition to the recently released Survival Pack, we are releasing authoring tools for mod makers, community matchmaking, 4-on-4 matchmaking, and more new content during the coming months for Left 4 Dead 1. You get a brand new game with everything you love from the first Left 4 Dead, plus the new stuff, plus the downloadable content they will undoubtedly release, which will totally make for hundreds of hours of gameplay, for only $60.
The fact is, none of you bought Left 4 Dead and loved it because additional content was coming. You bought it and enjoyed it because of the game it was. An extremely fun pick-up-and-play zombie multiplayer co-op shooter.
And this is coming from a home console player's point of view. I envy you PC players who pretty much get unlimited user content, so be a little bit more grateful that you have that, especially for those who picked up Left 4 Dead when Steam was having that special. And despite all this, I hope you boycotters don't pick up the game. I'm sure the Left 4 Dead community will be a lot better without people like you.
This is Rad Ryan,
And I usually play as Bill.
saying that Gamer Rants will support Valve and its release of Left 4 Dead 2 by purchasing the game on November 17th, 2009.